So if you've got the link to this video, it means that either I've sent it to you or somebody else has sent it to you. And what I want you to get before you get too deep into this is this contemplation, this video series is effectively for me. And what I've found for myself is that when I speak things out, it lands differently for me. And in that speaking out, my contemplations seem to inspire or affect or help other people reflect on what's really going on in their life. Now, this collection of words in the common vernacular book, and yes, that sounds overly technical and complicated, but the more you dive deeper into this book, you will find that a lot of the labels that we've applied to things, how the world has been created, how it's been reinforced, is impacting all of us as a species. And why and how I found this book, I have no idea. I do not remember how I came across it, but what did happen was I was doing a delta sequence in the gene keys. If you're familiar with a delta, it's when 8 people get together and you contemplate a series of specific gene keys. I happened to also be reading this I Ching, the Oracle of the Cosmic Way, at the same time. And the insights and life synchronicities that were showing up for me while I was reading this book were beyond profound. And while you ingest this book and the contemplations, if you choose to, so the format is I read the hexagram that I want to read. There's something in the I Ching, the Oracle of the Cosmic Way, that talks to the RTCM, which is you throw 3 coins, and that might sound peculiar. And when you do it, you will understand why it's not so peculiar, which helps you choose the hexagram that you need to create to contemplate on. And you can ask general questions or specific questions, or ask the sage, which is a helper, our teacher that is alive, that wants to guide us back into cosmic harmony, that when you communicate through it, then communicate to it through the RTCM, you'll get profound understandings and revelations about what's going on in your life and where you've been and where you want to go. And the book is not designed to be a divination, like tell the future. It's designed to help you untangle the identity that you've created that keeps you stuck, that keeps you trapped in this cycle of the matrix, for the lack of a better word. And the more you build a relationship with the sage, the teacher, through the RTCM, you will understand more and more and more about the construct that's known as the matrix and the ego that supports it. So other epiphanies that you may or may not find in this book is how guilt has been a mechanism to reinstall the ego, how there's many labels that get applied to us through childhood that we try to maintain in adulthood, which end up collapsing our relationships, collapsing our health, collapsing our wealth. What you also find in this book is a way to connect to a deeper joy and a way of life, to celebrate the gift of life. And once you grasp that concept of being able to celebrate the gift of life, your life is very different. And how this work crosses over with my work in the 5 personality patterns and relationships and love mapping and life mapping, it explains why and how the body stores the memories of the ego, where the egoic patterns that we have that we call ourselves are actually not ourselves. They're trapped in the body, they're trapped in the musculature. And there's a technique in this book called The Inner Know, and I speak about this in some of the contemplations if you choose to go deeper, where the inner know can be said to things from a neutral place, and it untangles you from the agreements or the contracts that you've made. For example, if you've said that you must be a good mother or must be a good father, and then you keep guilting yourself into cycles of, I need to do better, I need to do better. Or if you've made a promise to someone and then that promise you can't seem to fulfill on that promise, being able to say the inner no to the promise and dissolve the contract is powerful. And the same thing can be said to partners or anybody else in our lives when we feel like they are encroaching on our common being, our sovereignty. And to get a gauge of where you finish and the other person begins requires a connection to the body. And what's also mentioned in the I Ching, the Oracle of the Cosmic Way, is common senses, the common sense. And this is how you see, how you touch, how you smell, how you taste, the feelings in your body. And the more you can connect to the feelings in your body, the more accurate your read of life will be, your read of reality will be. And this is the crossover in the 5 personality patterns, my love mapping and my life mapping, where if you can't connect to your body because you're in overwhelm or you're flooded, then you're going to have real issues connecting with your common senses. And that can be rather devastating for people who have really felt like they've tried everything and they still can't seem to make it work, right? They still can't seem to get their life in order. They still can't seem to make sense of why their life isn't working out the way they want their life to work out. And this wisdom, this primal wisdom, has been shamed through the years by other teachings, religious teachings, where there's an attempt to ascend out of the body, ascend out of the flesh, because the flesh is bad, like you're born with original sin. And when you do that, you demonize the body. And in demonizing the body, you demonize the functions of the body. And there's various hexagrams which go into much more detail about this, but I'd encourage you, if you want to, go deeper into this. And if you're someone who tends to pick up something and put it down, say you're going to do something and put it down, then you're not going to get the full benefit out of this book. Because this book is now, it's a lifestyle for me. It's more than just ritual. And I've stopped because of this book and the wisdom in this book. I've stopped using the gene keys. I have no need to use the gene keys. I have no need to use human design. My divination tools, like the cards I used to pull, don't need to do those anymore. This book really describes a connection back into the whole that's been missing. And for those of you who listen to this may land jaggedly. The new wave of Christians that are coming through, who have not come from a long history of being in religion, will assume that God is the answer. And this Oracle of the Cosmic Way speaks to God, but the original God, the one before it was tainted by man and corrupted by putting man above nature, which is effectively what Christianity is. It puts man above nature. That's not correct. We are all equal in our own right, and there is a uniqueness about us. How we express our consciousness is what the aim is here. Express your unique gifts. So for the crossover here in my life mapping, my longer work, is that the more you connect to who you really are at the core, the less you need to pretend, and you start living life for you. Your purpose becomes you living your life, not something over there of trying to save the world, save people, do this coaching thing, do that thing, writing a book about how to save people, unless that is genuinely your truth. But if it's not your truth, then you're most likely performing it, and it will incur what the Oracle of the I Ching calls a fate. So, in summary, reserve this link. Don't just send this thing to anybody, all right? Because this work is special. It's unique. This work is unique, and it's sacred to me in such a way that this list is this. All of the contemplations, all of the readings are private. There is no audiobook for this version of the I Ching. I don't know why. There have been other versions. There's another version out there of someone reading this, and I didn't like it. And I was recommended by one of my clients actually. So why don't you read it, John? And I was like, yeah, that's actually something I really love to do. So I really love reading from this book. I really love reading from it. It lights me up. It gives me something, and it feels like it's my truth to share it in a different way, because when you ingest it, reading it versus listening to it, it lands differently. So I do my best to recite exactly word for word. Sometimes I mess up. I'm not recording a audiobook, so it's just me talking, and sometimes I need to say things again because it didn't land on me and I need to reiterate. Sometimes I get the punctuation incorrect. I get the breathing space incorrect. So if you can bear with it and deal with all those humanistic traits and perfect imperfections, then you get something out of this. And I truly hope that you do. And so that's all I have for you. And enjoy whatever I have there for you. All right. Mad love. Bye.